So yeah, I gave her a stiffener, and she just slapped me. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Probably deserved it though.
Yeah. Well, I thought she wanted a drink. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
know.
hello. Right, I'll address the elephant in the room. That's no offence, Jason. Your nose isn't that big. But yes, I have completely typoed the title. I will fix that afterwards. If it's annoying anyone as they come in and out tonight, it'll certainly annoy me even more.
Yeah.
Believe me. Yeah.
It's like Jimmy's got my glasses on.
I've got your eyes on, mate. I feel like I've had an ocular donation from Not Suitable for Mum. Rach has said hi, Wayne Deacon, at some point. So, and there's Wayne. I can see him on my TV screen. Well, in the chat, saying hi, Rach.
Hi, Rach.
Pop-Tart's just dropping in, see if I can read the just. It's typing that's bad tonight. Although I nearly made excuses. I don't want to make excuses. My eyes are bad, and that's all there is to it. I have been staring a lot at my phone the last few days to do like extra stuff for the channel for next month, because I'm hoping December I'm going to have a bit of a breather, really, apart from one or two things that I'll no doubt have to do. But I just fancy, just like not having a month off, but just not worrying about content all the time.
Yeah.
Hello, old man. Wayne Deacon, who was born in bloody 1961 or whatever it was, is calling me an old man.
Wayne's older than me.
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, mate. Pop-Tart, welcome to Middle Age YouTube. Get the cocoa on. Oh, no. Yeah. I was paying a compliment. Who was it? The other day. Oh, someone they said to me, where was, because I'm not going out a lot at the moment, but it was obviously when I was out somewhere, and I'm trying to think where it was. Oh, that was it. It was when I went for my COVID booster. The nurse said, "Are you supposed to be having this?" And I said, "Yeah, because I've been sent the email or the text or whatever it was, telling me I can book it because I'm like over 40 and I'm in like the vulnerable."
Yes, that's why I don't know why I haven't had mine yet.
Yeah, and she said, "Oh right, oh you're 40," and she said, "How old are you?" "I'm 41." "Oh, you don't look 41." I mean, I had a mask on, so maybe that helped a bit, a face mask. Well, she said, "Oh, don't look 41." Jimbo's still got it. Like my arm doesn't work, my legs aren't working very well, and my eyes are fucking failing. But the ladies still love a bit of old Jimbles. I'm kidding myself there. Hello guys, hope you're well. Says Andrew. Backache tart. Well, yeah. Pop-Tart, of course. He's had a bad back for some time now. Yeah, thanks, Lee. Cheers. Thanks for popping in, mate. Hope you on the mend still, mate, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, take it easy, buddy. I know what a bad back's like.
Oh, for your booster. Wayne, was she blind? No, I'm the blind one, but yeah. Yeah, if I've got a date, because she'll leave a guide dog tied up outside. They have a self-roast there.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know if we're going to get anyone else on the panel. Wayne, are you going to come on the panel with us at any point tonight?
Mr. Deacon.
Obviously, Rachel, anyone, in fact, who gets the link in that group is obviously welcome. I mean, there's no exclusions as far as I'm concerned. I think I saw someone suggest that she would hopefully be in the chat, but not on the panel, which is up to her.
Wayno said that he might join us briefly when he's finished work.
Oh, Wayno is in Wayno's World of Pop. Okay. Oh, why? When did you talk to him?
I let him. I mentioned it in Secret Santa because I know a lot of them know you.
Oh,
so I just said, I said, right, if you'd care to join us.
I do apologise. I forgot all about that Secret Santa.
Well, you're not involved in it this year, are you?
Well, no, I know I dropped out, but it slipped me. I didn't. I dropped out, but obviously I didn't expect to forget that it was happening. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Jess is in the chat. Hello, Jess. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So at least we should have enough people for a bit of a game of Quiplash in a bit.
Yeah.
I thought we could have a bit of a chat first. I don't want to be. As I was saying to Jason before we went live, because my eyes are bad, and there's the evidence is right in front of you with my shit arse typing tonight. But, I don't want to be gaming for hours and hours because it's just gonna make my eyes worse. And I want to. I want to have a relaxing weekend. Like I've got the Beatles thing on Disney Plus that I want to catch up on tomorrow.
You will enjoy that.
I know, I know, I will, mate.
You'll love it.
Really excited. I couldn't believe how long. I mean, that's just the first episode, and I saw the
something
length. Bloody hell! It's about 2.5 hours.
It's about 9 hours long altogether. Something like 9-10 hours.
Yeah,
altogether.
I suppose. I'm not sure why they've done it like that. Like, they could have made it into like a 10-part mini series or something, couldn't they?
Yeah, I suppose.
But
could have done that.
I suppose would it been like a Peter Jackson thing and him being known for long movies? They just want it as like a trilogy kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still psyched for it. So that I think I'll almost certainly be watching episode 1 of that tomorrow evening.
I won't spoil it.
I think Jason's watched it or most of the first episode.
I've watched all the first episode, and I'm about halfway through the second one.
Yeah,
I'm quite enjoying it. Enjoying it. It's a side of the. I won't spoil anything, but it's a side of the Beatles you don't generally see. And I'll leave it at that.
Jess, you've been hanging around Jason. Oh no, God. Yeah, all these years of taking the piss out of him, and look, it's come home to roost. What? I'm always taking the mick out of his digestive system. I'm probably going to get fucking terminal incontinence. Yeah. So the Beatles. Yeah, it's funny you say that actually, Jason. The thing about official Beatles documentaries, I've got the. I don't know if you ever saw them back in the day, because they're originally on it was like end of '95, I think, on ITV, the anthology documentary series.
No.
It's a really good series. It's probably something I'm going to want to rewatch soon, to be honest.
Yeah.
But whenever it's an official Beatles thing, it's all very kind of like accentuating all the good stuff and the positivity.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of negativity, behind sort of closed doors, and they don't really focus on it. And I'm wondering if Get Back's going to be a bit like that, because it's like an official Beatles, it's a Beatles endorsed production. Because I mean, it's focusing on the Get Back / Let It Be recording sessions in 1969. Well, you only watched a Let It Be movie to know that there was a lot of tension during that. However, and I mentioned this in a recent video, I think this Peter Jackson thing, it's going to try and right some wrongs, because there's been some misconceptions, I think, about certain incidents. So but if it's to do with the Beatles, then I'm going to enjoy it. Rachel's just started watching Hawkeye. You know what?
Watch that.
I've watched all of these new MCU Disney Plus things, and I will watch that. Oh, I've not watched that What If, but I don't know. I've just not picked it for it.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing.
Stuff, like Loki, Falcon, etc. I've watched all them, and I've enjoyed them for the most part. So I'm not compelled to watch Hawkeye soon, but I'm sure I'll get round to it. So I doubt there'll be anyone giving spoilers out for that. But I know people like Jason and Wayne certainly won't.
I would strongly recommend you watch Shang-Chi first.
I watched that. Was not last weekend. I think weekend before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was I talking with about? Oh, it was Coomsey actually. I was talking with about Shang-Chi. Hello, Scotty. Shang-Chi seems to have got good reviews across. I
enjoyed it.
It was a good film. However, I think it's a little bit unworthy of all the hype. I think what it is, if you look at it, the storyline and everything, it's some great acting in it. There's some really nice, they
Choreography.
still call it CGI, like nice effects and stuff. I
Yeah.
just think the story itself is a little bit formulaic. It's like it seemed obvious
Yeah.
like certain things that were going to happen. Really, it's like this is kind of like Marvel by numbers a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose to an extent. I've always liked the character, but he's one of those ones that sort of
Oh, I like the
not
character
not no,
in this.
it's not as commonly known. And
No, it wasn't that. In fact, I like the fact that it was someone I was not familiar with, but
yeah, yeah,
it was someone like like quite a more an obscure. It was the storyline itself just kind of felt like you kind of knew where it was going to go. It's like, oh,
yeah,
like it's
maybe,
building
maybe,
towards this ending. It seems like
yeah,
kind of like you can, anyone can kind of write a Marvel movie. You need a certain beginning, a certain middle, and a certain. I don't know. I'm not explaining it very well, I don't
yeah,
think, but
yeah. I
I don't
suppose.
know. It was a great film. I would recommend anyone watch it who hasn't. But for me, it was formulaic, which sounds like I
Yeah,
suppose it's more negative than positive, but it doesn't have to be a complete negative.
no.
Sometimes it's good to stick to a certain formula. I think if Marvel are doing that and it works, then fair play
I
to 'em.
when people have watched it, right? Because I would have to go back myself and check how it compares to the comic book character. Um, but I know the origin in the comics has changed. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if they followed the same pursuit in the uh, other one. I can't remember.
I remember reading a little bit about Shang-Chi back when it first came out at the cinema. I was just looking it up on Wikipedia, just trying to learn a bit about it.
Yeah,
And I know, um, like they've back in the olden days of Marvel, they had to, they were using sort of what would now be considered somewhat politically incorrect Chinese stereotypes, and
yeah, to
obviously
an extent.
making a Shang-Chi film in the 2020s, they wouldn't be able to get away with
No, no.
that kind of thing. So, there's obviously going to be sort of changes regarding, to be more sensitive to a modern audience. Certainly.
Yeah,
So let me just catch up on some of this chat. Scotty says Shang-Chi was amazing in my opinion. I did enjoy it, Scott. I think I still prefer Black Widow, but for me, Black Widow in parts reminded me a little bit of James Bond, so that's why I like that
one
more.
of my, I think one of
Um,
my favourites was Doctor Strange
yeah, I like Doctor
because it
Strange.
was it was just. I'm not a big fan of that character. He's all right, but I'm not a big fan. But he is a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
part of Marvel. Um, but he's one of these ones. He's had multiple comic books. They don't last very long. His own title, and then he goes away for like a couple of years. And although he's still in other books, he doesn't have his own title for a few years.
mm,
But the way they did it with all the effects and everything, I thought were brilliant.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I like
advise anybody that
Doctor
has
Strange.
seasickness to
Yeah,
watch it.
I'm sure I'll enjoy assuming it's a decent film overall. But the second one, Multiverse of Madness, or whatever it's called, when I eventually get to see that, I'm sure that
Yeah,
I'll be glad that I've watched it. Andrew, he got the Abbey Road album. I have to say it's one of the best albums. Yeah, I think that's my favourite Beatles album. I'm always a little bit kind of having a toss up there at the top of my Beatles rankings, but Abbey Road is usually first or
yeah.
second for me. Wayne
There's
Deacon,
a
Shang-Chi's an awesome film. Rach hasn't watched it yet.
yeah.
Um,
I won't spoil
and
it.
Wayne says Doctor Strange was good. Yeah, Doctor Strange was good, and obviously there's some nice continuity between Doctor Strange and Shang-Chi
Mm,
because Wong is obviously in both, isn't he? So
yeah. Oh, I'll tell you something that's coming. Well, kind of coming back. It'll be with a slightly different title. X-Men '97. Do you remember the old '90s cartoon?
not really, no. I don't.
Ah, right.
No.
I used to love the '90s cartoon. Was brilliant. Right. they're basically picking up where they left off with that. Same voice actors, same voice actors, and all that. So if they keep it as it was, it should be fantastic. Because that was the same era. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to read. Scotty says Doctor Strange was strange the first time I watched it. It was weird, but you really like it now.
Oh yeah, it is. But then it's supposed to be.
Bear in mind, all these Marvel films, I've only seen them all once, and I mean the Spider-Mans, I've only just got around to seeing them. Ray, that's a question for Jason. Definitely, is Red Skull a bad guy?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, he's against Captain America, right? In the whole American concept, he's got connections of a type to the Third Reich. So, yeah, that all the sort of things that the Nazi Party sort of stood for, but kind of a diversion of it. Sort of like a splinter
group. If you
group.
love the Nazis, he's a good guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So no, really, no, he's not a good guy at all.
Okay, there we are. So yeah, every day's a school day when you're learning about comics with Jason. Scotty watched the X-Men cartoon a few months ago and really liked it. Yeah, I'm not a big cartoon guy. It's probably obvious, really. But I think that's not just because what people have said about the series, but I think that's mainly the main reason why I've not really bothered with What If, because I don't know, just it being an animation, and I don't know, there's like some sort of prejudice somehow in my head of, I want it to be live action, and it's not. So
the X-Men one is very much like a animated comic book. The styling is like you're reading a comic book. What If? It's one of those quirky sort of CGI animations. And some of the stories were fantastic. Some of them are really, really good. But there's other ones which were
just reminding me, and I think this is something else that was based on a comic originally. I started something on that. This probably over 6 months ago, thinking that I'd really enjoy it. An animation on Netflix. Watch the first episode. I don't think I got through the first episode. Just like how basic and uninteresting the animation style was. I couldn't watch it. I don't know if you can guess what it might be.
Well, what was that then?
Nothing to do with Marvel, by the way. It's something on Netflix. It's been going quite a few years. And the genre, it sort of mixes comedy with espionage and stuff. That sounded right up my street.
Oh, not Archer.
Yeah, couldn't get into it.
It's okay. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan.
It was the animation style. It was just like a series. I know it's what they call deliberate, but I couldn't get into it whatsoever.
It was kind of that cel shaded style, wasn't it? I think
it's just they hardly move the characters or anything. It's like you're just watching a bunch of pictures, really, and people.
Yeah, that might have been. There have been some ones like that. I think they did a Street Fighter one like that, and it was just a series of pictures with voices overdubbed. It wasn't any actual animation.
Me, I love a good spy thriller, and Archer was it's like a sort of a parody of that. It's like
it was quite rude in places, wasn't it? It was quite rude in places.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, all that sort of stuff. He sounded, great, and I was like, I can't sit through episode after episode and season after season of this.
Yeah.
It's for me, and I'm speaking only for myself. It's unwatchable. I couldn't be doing with it. I thought that was a real shame because I get the feeling, perhaps I ought to have started with the comics. Reading that, if for that, really, I'd probably get more out of them. Well, when I'm able to see things again, I'll get more out of them anyway. Scotty, Red Skull is the Marvel Hitler. Rachel's
in a manner of speaking.
Rachel's still got Loki and WandaVision to watch. Oh, you've seen Falcon. Oh, Rachel, you've done it. Well, I don't suppose it matters. It's probably not that much out of order, really. Archer is crap. Yeah. I mean,
Actually,
I wasn't massively taken with the storyline either. But I could have forgiven that if the animation were better.
yeah.
Wayne Archer is a load of crap, just as bad as Nightmare Before Christmas. You can't really compare the two, Wayne.
No, not really. They're
I've never
completely
seen
different.
Nightmare Before Christmas, but I'm just not into
Nightmare
that sort
Before
of thing.
Christmas is a weird one. I do kind of like it. It's not something I go and sit watch a lot of. But then I kind of like Tim Burton's quirky style. It doesn't always work.
I like his Batman films.
Yeah, I thought his Alice in Wonderland film was crap.
Factory. And
Sorry?
I don't like his Charlie and the Chocolate
No,
Factory.
I don't like that either. No.
No.
He's and he's too the character Willy Wonka's too messed up.
You know, I've got a lot of time for Johnny Depp, but I could have done without him in that, certainly.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even the fact that it was him in it. It was the fact that he played this weird, almost sort of like weird psycho deranged character, which Willy Wonka never was. I mean, I suppose we've got so used to sort of Gene Wilder with his sort of like pretty friendly, down to earth guy.
Well, yeah, that was the thing with Gene Wilder's. It was like you could tell like there was a lot of disdain there, and he had disdain for like a lot of the spoilt kids and everything right at the start, but he hid it like sort of with like this veneer of sort of false niceness. But you could sympathise with Wonka because most of the kids were complete shitbags, weren't they? Let's be honest.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. Although, you know, I don't know. I think Violet Beauregard's only crime really just that she liked chewing gum. Yeah, it's annoying, but you know, I think out of all of them, she was probably one of the slightly more tolerable ones.
Oh yeah, but she was the one. Wasn't she the one that wanted Daddy get me this, Daddy get me that?
No, that's Veruca Salt.
Oh, Veruca Salt. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because
she's with Roy Kinnear as her father. I love Roy Kinnear.
Yeah, he was brilliant in that.
He's good. He's good in anything. He's in loads of episodes. Well, not loads, but quite a few episodes of George and Mildred and Man About the House. Yeah. And he's so funny in them. He's
he's quite deadpan, isn't he? A lot of the time.
You look back at his work, and I think, he was taken too soon. You know, he was such a good comic actor. And I like his son. His son's not funny like him. His son's more of a serious actor anyway, Rory. But he's in a lot of the newer James Bond films.
Yeah.
What's that? In the new James Bond, like sort of like an associate of James Bond, really.
Yeah.
Somebody worked.
No, it's Scotty was saying about Eternals. Yeah, I'll probably wait till it comes out on Disney Plus before I go and see it. It's another one of those weird ones that it's strange that it got picked to be a movie.
Yeah.
It's another one of these books that it's got big ties to the Marvel Universe and its creation, all the rest of it, but it's never been a particularly strong seller. It's never been overly popular. Now, maybe there's stuff that they can do in the movie that they could never do in the comic. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Eternal. I suppose Shang-Chi was a little bit like that. It's just like I saw these announcements like coming out in such a year, like Shang-Chi. I'm like, I don't know who Shang-Chi is. Eternals. I'm like, who the bloody hell are the Eternals? You know. But yeah, I still consider myself kind of like a Marvel noob, really.
Yeah, well,
I
fair enough.
will be for quite some time, really. You know.
Yeah.
But Veruca is a brat, says, yeah, such a avaricious little bint, isn't she, Veruca Salt? And Mike was just a TV. Yeah, but it was like, I didn't like Mike TV because he was, maybe his like main downfall was him just like being obsessed with telly, but he was a bit of an obnoxious and all. I suppose Violet was a little bit. I don't know. I thought of Violet Beauregard after watching Ryan Milky's last video with his big purple head. Don't worry, Jason. That's not anything penile.
Madam.
Scott is scared for the MCU cost of it. Oh, cost of the Eternals. Oh
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't really I don't really
it
understand
could
why
be.
you're scared for the
Yeah.
MCU. You might have to explain that one to us, Scotty. Unless Jason might know what you're on about.
I can possibly see where he's coming. I can't go in to say anything without spoiling the movie because then
Yeah, but
you're
you've
getting
not seen
into
the movie, so
no. But from the comic books, I
Oh, I
know who the
see. All
characters
right,
are.
right,
You
yeah,
see,
yeah.
and what their connection to the Marvel universe is. And if I start going on about that, it'll spoil the basic premise of what the movie's about.
Oh, fair
So
enough.
yeah,
No. You're just scared for the MCU because of it. Um, okay, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to be the same as Jason, although I'll be like that for any Marvel movie. Really. I'm just going to wait for them all to come on Disney Plus, and
yeah.
if that means waiting a year or whatever it is. Then, cost of a spoiler you saw from the credits. Right. Rach has been rewatching Bad Girls. Oh yeah, I used to like that. It's completely trashy, really Bad Girls, but yeah, it's been on the drama channel, isn't it?
Can't say I've
Right.
ever seen it, but I know of it.
Yeah. Have we got enough players for a couple of games of Quippers then?
Who's up for a
Um,
game? Whilst Jimmy's eyes are still all right and he's not too tired.
yeah. I mean, they're not brilliant. Like I said, I've been doing some extra bits of work
Yeah.
for the
Did
channel
you?
last few days, so I've been staring at a phone screen a lot,
Yeah.
and it's put even more strain on my eyes. So
Did you
that's not
get?
helped.
Did you get the eye drops I told you about?
No, I
Naughty
well,
boy.
I didn't think to ask the optician, but I think if I really needed eye drops, I think she would have said.
That's what
But
I use.
Yeah, Rach and Wayne are here for Quiplash. I've not seen Jess chat for a while, so I'm hoping she's
No.
still around. Jess, if you're here and you're ready for a game, speak now or forever hold your peace. Not forever. Don't hold it forever. Just
Is
for a
that piece or pieces? Sorry.
say it, Rach.
Go on, Rach, say it. You know you want to.
Yeah. I want you to say it because then I'll do it.
I probably deserve it for that.
Well, I just didn't really get it. I didn't really know what you were alluding to. I mean, knowing you, it was something either sexual or toilet related. It was one or the other.
Oh, really?
I'm waiting for Jess here. I'm hoping.
Oh.
Yay! There we are. Rach says muted. Yeah. Mute him. That's long enough. Now, yeah, you don't. Yeah, stop miming, Jace. I'm muted. Very well done. I don't know where Jess has gone. We've got
No.
seven. We've got 7 in the chat. I don't know if one of those is myself.
Oh.
Rach might watch Shang-Chi tomorrow. Yeah. Have you watched Black Widow yet, Rach? I like Black Widow.
It
I
came out
know
on
Optimist said it was crap, and I've took against him for that bloody bastard. How dare you dislike something that I like?
Yeah, exactly. I had to be very careful in my choice of words when I talked about the Beatles.
Yeah.
Didn't I? You thought I was being derogatory and I wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I was probably a little bit arsey without due cause there, possibly.
Yeah.
But
fair enough. If you like,
but
if you love something,
the thing, I think it was because it's like I felt like I was being told something by someone who isn't the fan at my level. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair enough.
It's like it's like if I came to you like, oh, like there's a Skunk and Nancy thing on Prime Video or something, like, oh, I didn't like this bit, I liked that bit, I think such and such, and you'd be there like, you know, fuck all about them, mate. So shut up. It's a little bit. No, I'm not saying
I
nothing
get where
else
you're
is,
coming. I do
I
get where
know
you're coming
it's
from.
not massively
No,
comparable, but that was kind of
but
like my mindset.
but what I said about it being hard going, right?
Yeah, that sounded like it to me. It sounded
Yeah.
like you're just kind of like a fair weather fan who weren't giving it much of a chance, kind of thing.
No. Totally from it. It's long.
Mm.
It's
And
like sitting down and watching. Well, like the new James Bond film. I
well,
do
yeah,
want to
like
see it,
yeah, or
but
Endgame. Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know what you
prepared to
mean.
spend 3 hours,
Yeah,
three and a
and to
half
be
hours
fair,
in the
when you said
cinema.
that it's hard going, I had no idea that it was the first episode was like over 2.5 hours.
Yeah, well, there
When
you
I,
go then.
when
See?
I looked at the Disney Plus app and I'm like, hang on, that's episode 1 and it's that length. I thought like I thought originally like that was the whole thing, and then it's like no, it's a
No,
3-part series.
because I looked for Let It because it's connected with Let It Be. I thought it was called Let It Be. I didn't
No,
realise
because
it was called Get
no,
Back.
because that was the name of the
Yeah,
original 1970 documentary that came out. That
yeah,
they've disowned that because you've got like footage of like Paul McCartney being a little bit bossy and arguing with Harrison, and
mm,
John Lennon's kind of. I mean, maybe you can tell in this new series. I won't know till I see it, but John Lennon was apparently coming off heroin addiction at that point as
mm,
well. So, and then you've got like kind of Yoko sort of skulking around, which
yeah,
Let It Be is quite. It's just it seemed it's when you think about the Beatles and how they've portrayed themselves
yeah,
throughout the 1960s as this kind
mm.
of happy foursome, working
I mean,
together, playing
yeah.
together, and like this was like it looked like you're watching a band break up when you watch Let It
Mm,
Be. It's pretty moribund to watch.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a bad film, but it's if you're Beatles fan, it's not really going to uplift you. It's gonna like you're gonna
No,
watch it
no.
and like yeah, I
I
just watched
think
them
it's
break up.
more for. Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit sort of like people who want to know more in depth of what was going on. And,
Mm.
they want the dirt
Yeah,
on
I
it,
mean, I
shall we
like
say?
learning about the dark side of like all sorts of things that I like.
Yeah,
Like I mean, I know it's if you can call it the dark side. I mean, I'm going back to when I did that review of the Winged Beetle conspiracy
yeah,
documentary that I did. I mean, that's just absolutely bonkers. But I mean,
yeah,
that's not something that's really part of the Beatles, official canon. Oh, let's celebrate this conspiracy theory that one of our quartet actually died and we replaced him, sort of thing.
yeah. I know.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like we've put all these like weird and kind of almost satanic sounding backmasking messages in our music. It
That's
yeah,
yeah,
it's got to fit the brand, and I think this Get Back series, even though it's using it's using the same time period as Let It Be did,
yeah,
the Let It Be film. It's it's been made in a way to be more positive and to show the
yeah,
brand in a positive light. And I get that, and Anthology did that as well to
yeah,
a large extent. That didn't focus on any sort of, you know, like if in a way Anthology ends weird. It's just like one day we're like, oh, we're just not together anymore, and they don't go on about the long protracted legal battles that they all
yeah.
had in the 1970s, where
Well, I
they
didn't
seem to,
know.
they seem to be
I
going to
did.
court with each other like bloody
Yeah,
every week for a
yeah.
while.
Well, I did a little bit of a look up after I watched the first one, sort of see a little bit more sort of background information.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of without spoilers, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of.
yeah. I
You
don't know,
know,
I'll learn something new from it. I'm always.
yeah,
I know I don't know every single thing there is to know about the Beatles. Much as
mm.
of a fan I am, the universe of the Beatles is so intricate and there's so many different
Well,
avenues and goes off.
they
There's always,
yeah,
I've read stuff on Wikipedia like this year, and it's like, oh bloody hell! Like, I've been a fan of the Beatles for like what
yeah,
30 odd years, and I didn't know that.
yeah. The because they weren't really around for all that long, were they? Not really.
No, it's amazing when you consider what bands do now. Like most bands, like even the ones you'd call sort of consistently, they'll release an album maybe every 2 years or
Yeah,
something. Won't they? Like they'll do
yeah.
a tour. Then once they've done a tour, they'll maybe have a few months off, then go back in the studio. But the Beatles, you think about it, I mean, they released 2 albums a year and
Yeah,
lots of extra singles that weren't
yeah,
part of the albums,
yeah.
like from 1962 all the way to
There's a
like
hell of a lot. There's a
1969.
hell of a lot of songs featured on there that
Yeah,
I'd either never heard before, or you can hear elements of them where, and I expect as the series goes on there, it'll develop into that. But the songs that started one way and very much progressed into something else
yeah, yeah,
that was quite different from what the original
mm.
concept was.
Yeah,
There's
because
even there's even a song, I won't spoil it, but it sounds like something that Lennon does later
yeah,
on once the Beatles are split up.
yeah, I can. Oh, yeah, I can understand that. I can believe that because I don't know if maybe they touched upon this in the first part, but originally the Get Back / Let It Be sessions, they were meant to lead up to like a big event of some sort, like
Yeah,
most likely a live event. And I think some of the
I know what it was, but I won't
no,
spoil it.
so you can say because I don't think anyone in the chat's got a mind about. I mean, can you say something from like over 50 years ago is even a spoiler, really?
Yeah, I know, but it's the way in which it was done. That's what I'm getting at.
Mm,
Again, the initial concept changes.
yeah, because
So
yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, but I've heard about a couple of different ideas that they were floating around. Like is oh, what was it? What was the that's some sort of was it a Roman or Greek Colosseum? That one's ringing a bell to me.
mhm,
And
mhm, mhm,
there was something
mhm,
else as
mhm,
well.
mhm.
Like some yeah.
The thing is, you're going
Ultimately,
to
you
say
know
stuff, and then I start smiling, and then you think, "Oh yeah, right."
no, it's not spoilers because I know a lot of this anyway. It's just,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, but I mean, for those people that don't, I mean, there's some people that probably aren't up. I don't know as much about the Beatles as you do. Heck, I
Mm,
don't know about as much about his music as you do. You have got wealth of knowledge. That much is evident when you do your top of the pops because you remember dates and chart positions and all that. That, yeah,
mm,
you know,
yeah,
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I know
yeah,
sort of roughly, but I can't say exactly. So, there's a lot of people there that don't know the story behind the Beatles and
yeah.
what they were
Well, I mean,
like.
obviously, this is. I would recommend anyone who wants to learn about the Beatles on a not a superficial level, but on a level that's an easy. It's a long watch, but it's an easy watch. I recommend the anthology documentary series. And
Mm,
like I say, because it's all kept sort of quite up, and we
mm.
don't dwell on like any rows or arguments or contradictions or anything like that.
Can I change the subject to something we were talking about the other day?
If you must.
Right. This I know that they okay. It was that Night Nurse song. Now I know Gregory Isaacs did the original,
Yeah.
right? But I've been trying to find out, and I can't seem to find the information. When I said about Sly and Robbie, I'm sure they'd done their own version of it before they did the one with uh, Mick Hucknall.
Well, they may well have done because Sly and
Yeah.
Robbie had been knocking around for donkey's years before then. So
Well, they did
for all I
produce.
know, because they're like
Yeah.
a rhythm section, like you've got Sly on bass and Robbie on
Yeah.
drums, or is it the other way around? Like for all I know, they might have played on the original with Gregory Isaac, but it's credited as a
Yeah.
Gregory Isaac number first and
No,
foremost.
I had a
And
look
then
at
the
that.
cover version that I'm familiar with is the one from '97,
Yeah.
Sly and Robbie featuring Simply Red.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Um.
Sly and Robbie may have recorded it, credited to themselves or even with someone else completely in between Gregory Isaac's version,
Yeah.
which I think
Well, they did.
maybe early 80s or even
Yeah.
late 70s,
Yeah.
and
Well, they did a lot of
Simply
their
Red
own.
from the
They did
late
their.
90s.
Yeah. They did a lot of their own stuff before they became producers.
Yeah.
They've got about
Lots of people are going to
8
find this
albums.
more interesting than the Beatles. I was talking about Sly and Robbie, by the way. Like,
Sorry.
you know,
No,
I've
it's
got
just
a lot of
again,
time, I've got a lot of time for reggae and music from the Caribbean, but I don't think that's going to get us a lot of interaction.
No, it was just something that we've been talking about, and because as I said, you know a lot more than I do,
Yeah,
right?
no, I can quite believe that they would have recorded Night Nurse before they did it
Yeah,
with Mick Hucknall. Yeah, I could,
yeah.
but I haven't looked into it myself.
The
All I know is it's a song that I don't know who wrote it. He might have wrote it. I honestly am not sure, but
yeah,
it's a song that is
I
to me
yeah.
associated with Gregory Isaac.
It's no,
Ray
it was
Just Watch. That was Black Widow I was talking about. Yeah,
yeah,
Ray Winston wasn't good as a bad. Yeah, Ray Winston's good if like you're doing like a Cockney crime drama, like
yeah,
him being in the MCU. He just doesn't. Yeah, he probably was the worst thing about, and I know some people weren't keen on Taskmaster in that either, were
yeah,
they? But otherwise, I thought Black Widow was a lot of
yeah.
fun myself.
Um,
I don't understand the negativity towards it.
no,
Andrew, the story about the meeting with Elvis. Yeah, the Beatles met with Elvis. I'm trying to think what year that would have been. It would have been while they were still touring, so it was probably going to be around 66, maybe before that, something like 65 or 66. I know the story, so I should know the date. But Beatles stopped touring in 1966, so I would guess it was probably between maybe 64 to 66, because they got really big in America in 64.
yeah,
Obviously, 2 years later is when they not touring anymore. And I'm
yeah.
sure, like, they met Elvis during a tour. It wasn't like they flew over for a holiday or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get back to the Beatles, but yeah, to clarify what you've said about Gregory Isaacs in that song, he did write it, and
I
it
did
is with
like
a guy called Sly, right? But it was
Sly Dunbar.
Sylvester Weiss,
That's not
Weiss,
Sly.
which is a different guy from the
Yeah,
guy in Sly and Robbie.
it's Sly and Robbie, Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare.
That's it. Yeah. So it's a different Sly. That's probably why I thought it was Sly and Robbie.
Probably. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
easy mistake to make. Yeah.
But you know, I'm having listened to this Beatles film series. I'm tempted to go and, even if it's only on CD, and maybe not to the extent that you did, and getting the big box, shall we say, with everything on it. I may well go and get some Beatles albums on CD.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
things like
you don't need me to recommend that to you. I mean, I would say to anyone, if get some Beatles in your music collection.
There's some really obscure songs that don't make any sense. It's Mickey's Metal Hammer or whatever it's called.
Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
Maxwell's that's just a weird song. It's bizarre.
If you like weird songs and even the titles are like, hey, what's all this about? I think the album, and it's a good album. There's a lot of filler in it, but it's a double album. The White Album, I think you'd probably enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, but there's that Dick Pony thing.
I've listened to all the albums again recently.
Yeah,
with getting that mono box set. I was listening to the White Album the other day. And one of the songs on it is it might now be my favourite off the album, and it's a George Harrison one actually. It's Piggies, and it's really it's got such a good melody to it, and the lyrics are quite cutting really.
Yeah,
I like that kind of thing. It's kind of like it's a satire. It's kind of punching up at like your upper classes and like your kind of people in power sort of thing. But the melody of the song "Piggies" is really good.
Yeah.
So have a look for that when you got some time. It's only like the song's like under 3 minutes because most of them are. Like "Piggies" by the Beatles.
I'm sure.
Number and all that.
I'm sure there was because I like television. I'm sure they were semi-influenced by stuff like the Beatles, because some of their lyrics are weird. there was. I'll just. I mean, I know you can't compare. I know, totally different music, right? Different genre, different style, all the rest of it. But they had the things. The lyrics were, "I'm wearing pigtails that my mother bought. In '69, she was the queen. I'm only thinking things that Kafka taught. My hypertension of obscene." That's just like what, you know. But it works. I
Mm,
don't know why it works, but it does.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and that was some of the Beatles strong stuck me as that sort of like things that didn't really gel
yeah.
in if you were like trying to tell a story or anything, but
Mm.
they were just fun lyrics.
Yeah. Oh well,
They didn't.
there's loads. Certainly, like towards the later Beatles period as well. I mean, the White Album. I think Abbey Road and as well. And I mean, not so much Let It Be, but
Isn't
one or two. But yeah, like some of the nonsensical lyrics. I mean, looking at one of the better known nonsensical kind of lyrics for the Beatles is "I'm the Walrus," which was
I
originally
was
off
thinking you were
the
going to say
Magical
that? Yeah,
Mystery Tour in '67.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, but no, I would say get some Beatles in your collection. Of some
yeah,
sort. I mean, I
yeah.
know it seems a bit of a fair weather, a casual fan thing to do. But even if you start out with like the hits compilation one, or
Yeah, yeah.
that's the- that's a. I mean,
But
yeah,
it
it's
was,
it's got the singles on it, and maybe you want to investigate some of the album tracks, but
well, yeah. This was it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's. There's a lot of the singles that I like. I do. Right, they've done some fantastic ones, but there were songs that I vaguely remember hearing. But I think no, that
yeah,
wasn't a single. That couldn't. That
oh yeah,
So it's getting into that sort of bit where what else they were doing, because as you say, they were not churning out music, but they were releasing stuff quite regularly.
well, yeah, yeah.
You know,
If like, what year was it? Where they only released one album? I think it was 1966. It would have been,
yeah,
and that would have been Revolver.
yeah,
And everyone thought they were splitting up that year just because they'd only released one album, and they actually decided to have a few months off because it
yeah,
was
yeah.
it was during that few months holiday where
Well,
Paul
you know,
McCartney
bands.
supposedly was killed in a
Yeah,
car crash.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, there's bands. Yeah, I saw about that. No, there were bands that I'm into, and they took. They well, one split up for 10 years before they
Mm,
got back together, and another one until a few years back hadn't released an album for 18 years.
mm.
And but they're still touring. They're still doing live stuff and all the rest of it. They just don't do studio stuff very often.
Yeah.
But I'm curious as some of the bands that you and me will know that what are they doing now? There's things like well, you did the Spiral Carpets and stuff like that. What they're doing.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they kind of still together. I know the lead singer, like he left them some years ago, and I think it was a bit
yeah,
contentious because he's got like his own sort of. It's not a tribute act because you can't really call
yeah,
it that as such, but he tours as Tom Hingley and the Carpets with a K.
yeah.
Because I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. I often forget
All
that.
right, yeah,
Yeah, and he often posts his gig lineups and
yeah,
everything, and he hypes and it's always Tom Hingley and the Carpets. Because like
yeah,
I quite fancied sort of like tagging him in the like some of my promotion for that in Spiral Carpets video, and I thought,
yeah,
well, if him and the band had a mega fallout, and like it's kind of, I don't want to sort of piss him off by,
yeah,
even he probably wouldn't, but he does
yeah,
feature on those records that I showed
yeah.
the other day.
Um,
I like his
yeah.
voice, but
But there's a band that I'm going to feature possibly next week, right? And they only had one album. They had four singles, one album, and that was it. And you never heard from them again, right?
mm,
And I've tried researching, because I like to do a little bit of info down the bottom. Um, and there's next to nothing. I've only been able to find one song of theirs that I've got that actually I found the video for, and I know they did other videos, but I can only find one on YouTube. There's lots of live performances and stuff like that, but not the original footage, and nothing about what they're doing now. So it's it's weird that some of these bands, they just disappear off the face of the earth.
Well, yeah. Reminds me a bit of like a couple of them chart show reactions that I did. Like that last year I did them, and some of the acts on it was like, bloody hell, who the hell are they? And like they ended up like, say they were on a program called The Chart Show. Like, yeah, you end up looking them up, and like they barely charted. Even like being promoted on an ITV program and stuff like that. Like,
but that's what I like. That's what I liked about the chart show.
Yeah, there's an act called Horse, and it was so hard getting information about it. There's like this sort of butch, like sort of lesbian type lead singer, and I was like, oh, Horse, like who the hell are they?
Well,
I was so hard to actually find like chart positions and any kind of information.
Who is that song? That song. I know those lyrics. I can't.
I can hear that song in my head, Ray. I can't think who did it.
Yeah, but she's the only one I've got. It wasn't ELO, was it? It sounds like that, something they would do.
I get the feeling it's a bit more modern than ELO, but I'm not sure now.
Yeah. We'll have to Google
Rachel, let us know.
Yeah.
Please tell us you know who did that, because that's going to annoy you. Because I can hear that bit in my head. I don't think it's very good. Like, it doesn't sound very good in my head. Anyway, I'm not enjoying it. I can hear it.
I thought it was an all right song if it's the one I think it is. It's not bloody David Essex or some shit like that, is it?
I don't think it's David Essex. Oh, that David Essex song, like Top of the Pops, I did a few months ago, was fucking awful.
He does that. He goes,
Supertramp. That's Supertramp.
Oh right, yeah.
It's
Well, I was sort of in the right ballpark.
Oh, is it Breakfast in America? Is that the one?
Can't remember.
Oh no,
what album you mean?
Oh, which Supertramp song is it? I don't think it's Logical Song. I think I know that too well.
Hang on, let me have a Google.
Yeah, Supertramp. Yeah. So yeah, similar era to ELO then. Similar band.
Yeah, well, there you go. See.
So yeah, there's me thinking it was more modern, and no, you were right.
Oh, maybe someone did a cover
Breakfast in America. Yeah, it was Breakfast. There we go. Look.
There we go. I was just going to look it up. Thank you.
The Paul Gambaccini of Derbyshire strikes again. Although without the penchant for bum sex.
Yes. That's someone. There's a name that pops up in that documentary that probably isn't appropriate to hear now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, go on, tell me.
Rolf Harris.
I don't know. I think compared to Savile, Rolf Harris still gets a little bit of a pass. Not much, obviously.
No,
he was still convicted of horrible crimes. But
yes,
I think because Savile was just like an absolute like terminal predator for decades, whereas I think Rolf Harris, his was more sort of ice. And this is by no way excusing it, by the way, but I think Rolf Harris, A, because they were more isolated incidents, and B, he'd got like this long-standing family who stood by him, and C, he was someone who was beloved, like up until well, how long was Animal Hospital on telly for? That was like into the
ages,
into the 2000s, I think.
Yeah. Well, I used to Rolf's Cartoon Club. I used to love that show.
I used to watch that. I mean, I don't know why you were watching it, Jason, because you would have been way too old for it. I find that a bit suspect.
I remember the original Rolf Harris show.
I remember it was a cartoon time thing. I think it used to come on like a Saturday afternoon or something. I remember watching it at my grandparents' often. Like, it want to be on either before or after Grandstand or something like that. And then he moved to ITV with his cartoon club.
But he was doing the thing where he had the whiteboard up and he'd use
Yeah,
big paintbrushes to paint with.
yeah,
That's where you got there. Can you tell what it is yet?
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'd rather not now,
Yeah, 'cause he'd
Rolf.
often draw like he'd be drawing Bugs Bunny or something, and then there'd be a Bugs Bunny cartoon come up, like,
Yeah.
and he'd draw.
Oh yeah, do that. Yeah, do that.
It's nice. I like that. That was a nice little,
Mm.
probably about a 10-15 minute show type thing that were on a
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
But,
They show some classic cartoons and some obscure ones you've never seen before.
yeah. But
But
yeah, yeah, I'm a little surprised that Rolf Harris. I mean, what is he just like mentioned in passing kind of thing?
Oh yeah, it's very brief.
Yeah,
It's
well,
very brief.
yeah. I mean, you never know. In episode 2, there might be some sort of like quick Savile mention, maybe like
yeah.
But
Maybe they out him.
hung out with Jimmy Savile.
That Jimmy Savile is a right.
Autumn of 1967. We dropped acid with him. He dropped something else, but less said about that, the better.
Yeah. No, they probably call him a creepy ass fuck.
Yeah. But then again, like, Jim will fix it. Like, there again, it was like all the stuff I used to watch. Like, I wouldn't make a point of watching it if I was at home, but like because we'd spend every Saturday either at one grandparent's or the other.
Yeah.
I'd like just see all this stuff at my grandparents all the time. Like,
yeah,
your Rolf Harris cartoon time and your Jim will fix it.
The concept of Jim will fix it was fine, right? And some of the fixes they did were brilliant, right? It's unfortunately we never get to see him again, not unless you know where to grab hold of them from.
Well, you can. There's probably full episodes, but there's certainly like clips on YouTube. But it's like, do you really, you know?
Yeah, but it's the same. If they edit out Jimmy, then you can watch it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him, but it's like the things like the way they did the Cub Scouts on the roller coaster, eating food.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was brilliant. It was daft, but it was brilliant.
Yeah. It's like my eternal dilemma with the Top of the Pop series. I really want to react to a 1960s episode, but the only ones I've found that are really good quality, they've got bloody Savile in them.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the 70s ones have as well, but there is so many that are around from the 70s, and I've not done loads from the 70s. I think I've done like 3 or 4 from the 70s altogether. 80s and 90s because they're my comfort zone. I tend to stick to.
Well, you watched Top of the Pops replays on, was it Friday?
Yeah, they'll have been recording as we speak. Actually, I'll be watching. I'll be watching them later.
There must be someone knows that 70s that don't have Jimmy in.
Well,
they wouldn't broadcast them otherwise.
No, now from what I know, the BBC's current guidelines are any with Jimmy Savile get ignored, any with Dave Lee Travis get ignored. And they're almost into 1992 now. So obviously, dinosaurs like that aren't going to feature really. Ones with Mike Smith weren't shown. Not for any legal not for any dodgy reason, but apparently before he died, he'd never signed anything to allow his likeness to be repeated. You know, I know it's weird. But so for some reason, although there again, like his era was like mainly the 80s, and that's been and gone now on BBC 4. So he's not allowed. Apparently, I was looking on Twitter a few weeks ago, and it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame, really, because I think we're going to miss a lot of good music. But there's a lot of episodes from 1992 that are coming up that they're not allowed to show because the presenters in them haven't given their permission for them to be shut. They haven't signed the necessary waiver, and apparently, according to someone who's in the know on the BBC 4 Top of the Pop side of things, he was saying on Twitter the other week that I think he said there was something like about 12 to 15 editions of Top of the Pops throughout 92 that they're gonna have to skip. If you think about it, like 15 editions, quite a lot, really.
Yeah, Well,
You know, you
that's
consider like there's like 52 a year, but one
yeah,
of them
exactly.
tends to be a Christmas special. So,
That's nearly 4 months worth.
well, it's over to. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, I suppose it is really. If you say there's 4 weeks in a month, then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's a lot. That's a quarter of almost a quarter of a season.
yeah. So I think it's yeah. I think it's a pity that like Leroy's in. Can I just say it's Jimmy's fault? I've been listening to Blur all night. Oh,
That's
that
all
Blur!
right.
I won't go on too much about it because I don't think Jason's watched it yet. But there was a Blur performance on the Top of the Pops reaction today.
Oh,
And
right, okay.
it's one of their weakest singles by a mile. That really is. But
I didn't mind
Leroy
Blur.
seemed to enjoy it because he's been listening to Blur ever since.
Yeah, Blur.
As long as you've
Again,
not been listening to R. Kelly, Frammers, that's
yeah, yeah,
yeah. There's a nonce I couldn't avoid when this
yeah.
time round.
No, Blur. In some ways, in some of the stuff Blur did, I preferred to Oasis at the time.
Yeah.
Again, they were another one for sort of like kooky lyrics, Blur, weren't they?
Yeah.
Some of their songs were definitely sort of
Leroy just
comedy
has
laced.
Tender on. Tender is good. I had that single.
I
I do like
no, I
that.
don't like
That's a
that
good
song. I
song.
don't like that song. No,
Oh,
no, don't like that song. That's probably one of the few of theirs that I don't like.
I don't know. It's a bit gospely. I don't know. It kind of. I don't
Yeah.
know. I like it. I think it works.
I like Coffee and TV. I love that song.
That's all. Yeah, it's not bad.
The video helps a lot. I
The
love the
video's
video as
good. I do
well.
remember the video. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, and obviously I like some of because Damon Albarn's voice. You got him on Gorillas and whatnot. That's one thing I must get. What was the? I'm trying to remember which one it was. Because there's a song that they do with De La Soul, and I've not got that on single yet. And I can't remember which one it
I
is.
never really got into gorillas, you know. I'm not entirely sure why. Really, I think as an act, I think they're quite eclectic, aren't they?
Well, I got into them because do you remember? Oh, what was his name? Was it Zane Lowe?
Yeah.
He used to do MTV Brand New,
Mm.
right? And they had Clint Eastwood featured on that, and I really like that song. I have got that. I have got that on CD.
I remember. It's listenable. It just never did an awful lot for me. But you know, it's horses for courses.
I do like stuff where they've got a mixture of styles, which Gorillaz definitely was.
Of course, I've just remembered. Leroy does tend to like his local artists, doesn't he? And Blur were from Essex, weren't they? I've just remembered.
Yeah, I believe so.
Colchester, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's not fair, Leroy. Colchester doesn't sound as funny as Billericay and Basildon and all them. Like we call you like the Billericay bottom botherer and the Basildon bum bandit and everything. What can we call you that goes with Colchester? The Colchester cock catcher or something?
You're just making stuff up now.
Yeah, Blur from Colchester.
Anything to get a dig at Leroy.
I'm not digging at Leroy. I'm mainly digging at Essex, really.
Yeah.
50 miles from where you live.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not exactly on the paper round, but yeah.
Right.
I mean, Essex is quite a big county, really, isn't it?
Anyway, are we going? Yeah, are we going to try and get a game? I don't mind chatting. It's just,
I don't think we've got enough people again. I think we need at least 5. And Jess,
right?
I think what were we talking about for Jess to fuck off quite early? Bloody hell, it must have been something really boring to her. Used to drink in Colchester every week.
Don't know. Yeah, no, I mean, I do like doing the chat because me, I'm quite passionate about music anyway. Albeit that we've got quite different tastes, but
yeah, and we've covered the MCU to an extent as well again tonight.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like I've got to redo the title of this because of my shit
yeah,
ass typing anyway.
yeah.
So
Shall
I'll just
we?
rename it to the Shat Show if we're not having a game. But
Yeah,
you know, it's fine. But if you've got anything else you're desperate to talk about, Jason, now would be the time.
yeah. I'm just trying to think. There was something, and you started saying something else. I forgot what it was now.
Oh, my fault, was it? All right, okay.
Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, you said about music. Just trying to think. Oh yeah, yeah. Now you can tell me to shut the fuck up
Shut the
if
fuck
you
up.
want, but are there only the three of us that know about the videos we're doing?
Yes, I think so.
So are you going to say anything or not, or should we leave it at that?
I don't mind. I don't mind talking about it. It's just
Right. Okay.
I don't know how many people will be that interested in here.
Well, no. But it's sometimes you like a video to be a bit special, so you don't say anything about it, and then when it comes out, people are going to go, "Oh, that's a good idea."
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, I
bloody
mean, I
bloody
do
blah.
like that to happen sometimes. Like, just spring like a new kind of thing on people. But
Well, leave it then. Leave it then. We'll leave people on tenterhooks, and
yeah, that's
you
the
know.
thing. I'm not sure that anyone will be on 10 Talks really, but you know, anything to do with me. Hopefully, they will, Jason. You're quite optimistic. You're more optimistic than me here, obviously, which is a good thing.
All I will say is I personally think it's a damn good idea that Jimmy's had. There you go.
Well, it's it was something I'm mulling over for a little while, and
Yeah,
I think it stems from not doing your Secret Santa. I
yeah,
felt I don't well I'm not I don't know if guilt is the right word, but I felt a little bit bad that I was dropping out and then I wasn't
yeah.
doing
But I mean,
something a
to be
little bit
fair, there's
different for
probably
Christmas. So it's kind of a compromise, but it's
yeah,
also something I've been
yeah,
wanting to do for quite
yeah.
a while.
It's the thing. The thing is, I mean, I totally get your reasons, and to be honest with you, there's probably only about what half of the people involved are from last year, shall we say,
Yeah.
right? And that's including me.
Mm.
So, but I'm not organising next year. Someone else can do that. So,
Rach is curious now. Well, I mean, if Jason wants to let you know what it is, then I don't mind. Leave it. Is Jason's Secret Santa still happening? Yes.
yeah,
I dropped out. I think a couple of days or maybe a week after you and Abby did.
yeah,
My reasons are simple. I'd be struggling to make a list of like affordable pops that I want.
yeah,
I know it sounds a little bit kind of I'm talking out my arse because like sometimes you'll see a video from me. It's like I've just bought 3 Green Day pops. Well, why
yeah.
couldn't
But
you
then
put
you
them on
already
your
had
list?
that. You
But it was
probably
like an
already had that
impulse.
organised.
It was an impulsive thing that, and it was on
Yeah,
a bundle and then
fair enough
another
then. Yeah,
discount. So it was like there was
yeah.
2 discounts on them. So,
I I've been deliberately not getting Funkos because I know my mate is bringing me some more stuff back from Canada. Um, I've got some sodas on the way as well. Um, there's obviously the Secret Santa and all the rest of it. Plus, I don't
hashtag
know
one
what.
can magic.
Hey,
Oh no, you see people on Instagram talking one can magic, and like turns out they've bought fucking 6 of the same can, but they try to pass out. Oh, I pulled the chase. Yeah, you bought 6 of the same ones, you stupid cunt.
of course you did.
And then
You know,
don't tell me it's one can magic because that's the biggest
yeah.
crop going.
Well, the one I didn't get the pops because I wanted the sodas because I was worried about the chase. If I get the chase, fine,
Yeah,
right? I
I
think
don't
in a
care
lot
whether
of them I prefer the original.
I don't care whether I get the chase. If I get it's nice to get a chase, but
Yeah,
I'll buy one and that'll be it. You know,
yeah,
that's yeah. I don't understand this. Like, I better buy 6 in the hope that one of them's a
no,
chase. In fact,
no,
sometimes it's gone the other way, and it's like people have got more than one chase, and they've realised, oh, like I didn't actually want the
Chase,
okay,
what the
like
original.
it's not very good in it. I prefer the common anyway. So
Yeah,
like you've just
exactly.
it's a waste of money, and like obviously the value, like you can't sell them all if you've opened them all. You can't sell them all as brand new and sealed anymore,
No,
can you?
no. What I would have done if it had been okay if they opened them all and they didn't get a Chase, but if they'd got one of each, well, a bit like I did with the Batman figures. Once I had them all, there's a couple of bags I have not opened, so I've got no idea what's in them. So I'm going to stick them in for some Batman fan at some point, and you never know, they may get the limited one.
Yeah.
I think that's a better way of doing it.
Yeah, I like the sodas, and I like the idea. The concept's great, but like being on Instagram, I see like, I see people. It's like, why are you buying all these of the same one? Like, you just like you must have more money than. And I know I know they sell them on, but it's like they're obviously not going to get the money back that they've spent. Like they've got to sell it off a lot.
Some you would.
Well, if you got more than one chase and you had a chase to sell, you could probably sell that for a profit.
But no, it's where
I don't know. For me, it's like people should just be satisfied with what they've got. I mean, I'm sounding like some old bastard now, but like, why can't you just like buy something and enjoy it for what it is, like without sort of like
exactly.
Like having to like sort of like turn everything into some sort of like gambling type of thing. I don't know. It does wind me up a little bit. Though.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. To a certain extent, why I don't collect comics anymore. Right, one, I haven't got the time to read them all. Right, I mean, I've got stuff in the cupboard just here next to me, and I've probably got about 2 or 3 boxes still left of stuff that I haven't sold. But I got into the stage when they were doing all these holographic covers and prism covers and all this nonsense,
all the variants.
Right? Yeah. I went a bit nuts and I was buying them all and I was spending shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Right, and most of them are worth fuck all.
Yeah.
So and I did stop getting them and get comics because I wanted to read them. That was it. Right?
Oh yeah.
There was the odd exception where, for argument's sake, Kingdom Come. Absolutely love that story, right? DC Comics, and I got the originals when they came out, but I did buy the deluxe edition because it came in a leather-bound case. It had a sketchbook, right, concept sketches and all the rest of it, and was signed by both the artist and the writer. So that is a little bit different, but generally speaking, well, like you do with your pops, you generally buy one of each figure.
True. Yeah, and that's it.
You buy your favorite one.
Yeah, you get one, and then like that's that's good enough. Rach is still waiting for your pre-order from Pop Culture. Which pre-order is that, Rach? Scotty, I've got a few sodas. Don't care about chases. The only chase I really wanted is Groot, and you got the common. I mean, just the thing. I think the annoying thing about it really is like I know a lot. Like you see all these like sort of like, oh, did I get the chase and stuff? It's like. It can be any soda. I only collect had icon sodas myself because I refuse to get loads more and then just it's down another rabbit hole. But you see people like they're buying all sorts of ones, and it's like you just know like they're not particularly fans of the fandom or anything. They're just getting all these sodas because like they've got some sort of buzz from chasing this chase all the time.
Yeah.
And they don't really care about the actual characters. Whereas me, I'm buying these figures because I want the characters.
The way I've gone with it is I've asked my mate for animation ones because I don't have many animation pops. Yeah. And to be fair, I look at some of the Looney Tunes ones as pops. They don't look right. Right, the eyes just don't. I know that's the Funko Pop style, but they don't look right. Whereas the sodas look more like the cartoon versions.
Oh, yeah.
So plus they take up less space.
Yeah.
So I get some small ones, put them on the shelf. That's nice. Got a few. Don't have to go mad.
Yeah.
You know.
But
So stuff
yeah.
like Hong Kong Phooey or someone
But
like that as
yeah,
well.
I mean, you'll have the thrill of like, oh, maybe I've got the chase, but
Yeah.
like if you open it, it turns out you got the common. You know, you're not going to be like, oh no, I need to buy this again and again until I've got the,
Yeah.
that's what I can't be doing with this.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
just like calm down. Like you're not collecting for the love of the characters. You're collecting for the
Well,
love of
see,
like some weird kind of nerdy
yeah.
gambling that
Even
you've got going on.
all these variants that Pop do, like the coloured chromes.
Yeah.
I know some people like the art series, but I don't. There's a couple that are quite nice, but I'm not going to
I've
rush
got
out
Bugs
and buy
Bunny
them.
art series, and that's because I grew up with Bugs Bunny, and I thought
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like that pop, and that's fair enough. I
Yeah.
just thought it was a bit unique, but it's like it's all these Batman art series. Some of them I think look great, but it's like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
why
But
would you need them all, really?
exactly.
Like you don't.
Right. Yeah. You don't. Right. I've probably got three of what I would call a standard Batman. There's versions that are sort of are different and quite a bit different that people have either bought me or are different enough to warrant it. But I didn't keep the Thomas Wayne. I had the Thomas Wayne as Batman, right? I didn't keep that because, to be honest with you, it wasn't different enough. It's got that little red bit on it, but essentially it's the same. All right, different person in the role, but to look at it, you don't know that unless you know the comic books. It's not. Well, are you that worried? So I've got 19. I think I've got the one in the Batmobile. The one from, oh crikey, 80 years or whatever it was, the one with the really pointy ears. And then I think I've got the one with Robin on the rooftops. And I think that's it. Maybe another one, I can't remember.
I mean,
But
technically, I've got three because I've got this
yeah.
big 18-inch fellow that you might just be able to see.
Oh no, because I've got two Batmobiles, so four.
I've got the 1966 Batmobile, same as you, and I've got the little Pocket Pop 1966 keychain that's apparently garage exclusive over here.
Okay.
I think in America it was a Hot Topic exclusive a couple of years ago.
Could well have been, yeah.
And that's two more Batmans than I ever expected I'd ever have, really. Once I've got the Batmobile one, that was really it. I've got the 18-inch just because, I still think that's one of my best ever bargain pickups. Finding
that's
an 18-inch Batman on Amazon for like little more than 40 quid.
To be honest with you, I've got trouble finding a place for my 10-inch ones. Right, I've got a space, but then I've got the other one.
It's been so long since I've bought a 10-inch pop. Like I bought this 18-inch one that was was it late last year-ish? I got that. And I've got how many other I think I've got 4 other 10-inch pops. I think the last 10-inch I bought was like over 2 years ago.
Well, I've got 2, but I'm probably going to sell one because I got it in I put it on top of the box, just on an off chance I get it, and I did. But I'm not really that worried about keeping it now. Whereas the other one, it's Galactus, and that makes sense to have him that size because he was a big character, right? He's supposed to be a lot bigger than everybody else. It's the same if they did the Sentinel from the X-Men. I'd get a 10-inch one of those because it's meant to be a significantly big figure. You could say the Watcher as well, if they ever did the Watcher.
Well, I mean, these characters are beyond me, mate. So
I know, but it's they're sort of like, when you think Galactus is the Eater of Worlds, he's obviously going to be a big bloke, isn't he? Stands to reason, just by the very name. So but I'm. There's too many gimmicks as far as Funko are concerned with their pops.
There is
even some of the chasers. Some of the chasers are pathetic.
Yeah, and I know it's putting off a lot of certainly your old school collectors.
Yeah. Well, the Terrence and Phillip from South Park, all the chase is the same character in a slightly different pose with a Canadian flag. That's it. That's the only difference.
Mm.
Why would you want it? What's the point? Just have the original, or if you get the chase, keep the chase and don't worry about getting the original. But don't have both.
Mm.
It just seems a waste of time. The one I did get was the as you know, because of the video that everyone comments on now, there was the Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, obviously, I've got one that's masked, and one that's fully armored when he's decloaking. So that's quite different.
Yeah, less said about you decloaking, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I took that video down sharpish.
Yeah, it didn't make any difference to me and Leroy though.
Mr. Manhattan. No,
footage.
Mr. Manhattan. That was oh crikey. Watchmen. Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind having those two pops actually. Dr. Manhattan and Rorschach.
Oh, they're expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a massive fan of Watchmen, and I didn't think that much of the film, but they're interesting characters.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I can't remember what that was reference to. Yeah, I can't remember what we were talking about from Rach to say about Dr. Manhattan. I can't remember.
I think just from you going on about some of the 10-inch pops that either you've got or
I suppose Dr. Manhattan in a way could be. He could have been a big size one. Yeah, he could have been.
But, I think I'm going to call it a night here because I don't think we've got enough players for Quiplash, and
Okay.
I want to get a drink and watch Top of the Pops, and I think we've been on for what? It must be getting on for an hour now. Well, about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
that's fair enough, mate.
We'll call it a day a bit early today, and we'll see how next week goes. Whether we've got enough people for a game, because I think it looks like Wayne's gone as well, but I think he did say he was having some tech issues, so that could be why.
Can I say, people, because we do this on a pretty regular basis. Please, please, please get people in. All right, not necessarily. I'm not asking people to come on cam necessarily.
But just in.
Hey?
You're lecturing him, like, yeah.
No. But I'm not lecturing. If anything, I'm begging them.
Like, there's like one or two people in the chat who can listen to us talk absolute shit for an hour.
Yeah. But it would be nice. It would be nice.
It would,
to play a game, right?
Well, I'm sure we will at some point.
And the other thing is, I don't know about you, but I don't always want this to be the Jimmy and Jason show. Right, I like having other people in on cam, right, and it's more of a giggle because someone might find something funny that we didn't sort of realise we'd said, and start creasing up, and of course it sets us off, which is even better. Because we all like
how humour works there.
Yeah. No. But all right, I suppose it is in a way. No, but what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, hopefully, I know Wayne likes being on the panel, but I think he's, if his phone and stuff's playing up, I mean, perhaps he ought to try it on the computer.
Yeah,
but I don't know, maybe he's got a computer like my old one that's pretty much fit for nothing. But I don't know. And Andrew likes the music. Well, yeah. I mean, me and Jason, I'm sure, could talk about music till the cows come home. But I do like a bit of variety. I do like when I mentioned stuff like the MCU and comics and stuff. Even though I know next to nothing about it, I know a lot of people who watch, and Jason who participates is into all that. So it's it's listen and learn some stuff from other people. Really.
I would say, Andrew, mate, if you have any groups you want to talk about it, even if it's freaking ABBA and Spice Girls, all right, I'll probably slate them to buggery.
What's wrong with ABBA and Spice Girls? Nothing.
Everything.
I've got all the Spice Girls albums on mini disc. I'll have you know.
Oh
Just.
dear Lord! Yeah, we know that. Yeah, but let's be honest. You buy any old crap on mini
Yeah, but
disc.
I always had a bit of a soft spot for the Spice Girls, even back. You know, I
Yeah.
never had any of their albums, but I got a couple of their singles back in the day.
Yeah. But no, anyway, you get my point. Is that if you know, Andrew, if you've got a thing you want us to discuss, it doesn't have to be music. If you want us to discuss it, I wouldn't. Not going to get into politics and all that bollocks. You know,
Well,
that's
no,
you know, that's another thing for another time. But
what's wrong with that?
Fleetwood Mac.
He's got something against ABBA. Like,
yeah,
he really
Fleetwood
can't
Mac,
stand
all right.
them. I think you're a little bit harsh on them, to be honest, Jace. You know,
I think part of it is because they were on the radio all the bloody time.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I get that, you know, and
right,
like
and
your age, Jason, I mean,
began
like,
to grate. One thing I definitely don't like is anything. Well, pretty much anything by people like Stock Aitken and Waterman or blooming Louis Walsh or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stock Aitken, Waterman, yeah, they put out some crap, but don't forget they put out some like fairly
the early stuff when they did things like Mel and Kim and Dead or Alive and all that lot. That was fine.
See, there you go. See, so
right,
so it's not.
But then they went into Jason Donovan and. You know, when you think about freaking doing a Hazel Dean and all that crap.
Well, yeah,
like, for fuck's sake.
You know, yeah, I mean, there's. It was the Hit Factory after all. They were.
But that's what got me. The fact that they called it the Hit Factory, that they were just churning it out incessantly. Well, and to be honest with you, it was pretty much interchangeable. Anyway.
A lot of it was. Well, yeah.
I could go on about that for years, but yeah.
And I'm sure we will touch upon music and other things. Like Andrew's mentioned Fleetwood Mac. I do like Fleetwood Mac. I've got a few of their I say a few. I've got 2 or 3 of their albums, and I would like to maybe get more at some point. But they're an act like I'll dip in and out of really. But I'm gonna call this one a night now because I want to drink and I'm gonna watch the Pops episodes that recorded and say thank you to everyone who came into the chat, be it at the start or later on, and thank you for everyone who stuck around. Always appreciated, and hopefully, and I think you know I've got to play it by ear really with my eyesight at the moment, but hopefully we'll do this or something similar, or hopefully a game if there's enough people next Friday. Fingers crossed. But we'll see you then. So thank you all. Cheers, Rach. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Andrew. And